Hi everyone, and welcome to the last lecture of the Advanced Business Project paper, where we look at presenting our materials, and in this video we look at the Viva Voce. So what is a Viva Voce? It's an oral examination. It's typically for an academic qualification, as it is in our case, and it's derived from the Latin with the living voice. We can think of it as a reflective conversation between a supervisee and supervisors, or as an interview. And it's a particularly useful thing to have at the end of a research process because it provides closure on what's gone on during the research and learning the research process. So why have a Viva? A Viva does some really interesting things, including it allows the supervisee to demonstrate that they understand what they've written, that it provides the supervisors with an opportunity to clarify elements which were unclear in the research report. It enables the supervisee and the supervisors to identify the strengths of the project. It allows an opportunity for supervisees and supervisors to critique the weaknesses of the research and to discuss potential improvements. It also allows future research possibilities to be considered and allows both parties to confirm ownership of the project. The format that the Viva Voce takes at NMIT is it's a 15-minute interview. Two supervisors will be present, one of whom is the project supervisor, and one supervisee. The session is recorded. Everybody can have a copy of the recording if they would like one, and it forms 15% of the final mark. It's held in exam week at a time that's negotiated between both parties. The Viva Voce, which is expected that both the positive and negative experiences gained from the completed project will be discussed. Students need to be able to have a conversation about what worked, what did not work well, and why it did not work well. They also need to be able to explain what their takeaway tools are and what may benefit future students. The following areas will be explored in the Viva Voce. First of all, theory and literature. This is what your literature review process was, how you selected your sources, what difficulties you had with keywords, how you managed to access the materials, how your literature shaped the topic and your objectives. You need to be able to explain why and how you chose your theory and how well it suited your project. This includes, of course, the learning you take away for future application, along with specific tools and techniques. Secondly, finding and collecting data. It's anticipated you'll explore the difficulties that you had with primary research, with establishing your methodology, with gaining access to participants, with analysing data, and so on. We're expecting you to discuss any issues you have with the REA process. These elements also include the learning you take away for future application, along with, again, specific tools and techniques. We're wanting you to discuss your conclusions, to explore whether the conclusions answered the research question and where they did not answer the research question. We're wanting you to discuss the shortcomings of your research and how those shortcomings could be avoided in future projects that you undertake. Again, we're looking for feedback on specific tools and techniques that you would recommend both for yourself and for future researchers. Fourthly, we're looking at the writing process. We're wanting to know what was difficult to write and what was easy, what strategies worked and what didn't. We want you to explore the issues that you had with writing and the learning again that you take away for later on, and what specific tools and techniques you're going to take into the workplace when you've got to write something again. Lastly, the project review. This is an exploration of your entire research process, the management process, and the course itself. You're expected to look critically at your own performance, the way the work turned out, and to discuss how that could have been improved. Think about this as a performance management session. Consider what worked well for you, the learning you take away to apply for next time, and those specific tools and techniques that you will use when you go into the workplace. Also consider what you could have done differently if you were to repeat the process, and any other salient points you believe a future researcher could benefit from. The aim of this discussion is to have the best discussion you could possibly have about your project after it's completed and put the entire thing to bed. So how to practice your Viva Voce? There are practice questions on Moodle under the Viva Voce tab. Activity 4 contains practice questions, and there are readings under Activity 4.1. Critically review the report that you've written and look for things that you might consider changing. Reflect on your process. What did you learn from the process? What do you feel you haven't learned enough about? And know your work very well.